Welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds, where two ordinary nerds talk about politics, economics, and all nerdy things.
Especially politics and economics. Looks like the Dow is at an all-time high of 15.2. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
How you guys doing? No, sorry.
Guys, there's only one of us.
Hey,
how we doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you get kind of multiple personalities sometimes. So.
Sometimes I, just like the movie Split, I do have a lot.
How was your Easter?
Oh, it was fantastic. Sorry,
Love
that was the other guy who just comes out sometimes.
How was your Easter?
My Easter was great.
Good.
No, it was good. Hung out with my family and the girlfriend, drank some beer.
The blow-up doll?
Her name is Sasha. She has a name. It's rude of you to...
I would never acknowledge her.
Well, she would like you to. She considers you a friend.
So
she's a real person.
What is this fresh thing that you're drinking today?
It's a beer from Sam Adams. It's called Fresh as Heels?
Fresh as Heels?
No, Hells.
Fresh as Hells?
Hell's Lager with Orange Blossom.
I like it. I think it's a good beer. I can have a couple of these easily. It's different. I mean, I'll give it a good...
It's like Blue Moon, but it's...
Yeah, I'll give it like a good 2 or 3.
I'd give it a 3.
It's different. It's different from Sam Adams.
Yeah. I feel like it's the Sam Adams beer just with orange in it.
Could be.
It's just what it tastes like.
They just added orange. They were just lazy.
Yeah.
Sam Adams,
We brewed this. It's taken us forever to come up with this chemical concoction. You just see a dude just spurting oranges in it. We're oranges!
But not Valencia oranges, just Florida oranges.
No, worse, California.
Yeah. Alright. So Sam Adams, send us some beer. Mm-hmm. We like to drink. We will improve our reviews if you send us beer.
Yeah, send us some beer. We really need to try out more. You can, definitely follow us at Two Ordinary Nerds, also Sam Adams, and then help us get more views. And then the more views means more beer for us, more
exposure to you.
Yeah.
So, what do you think we're going to talk about this week?
What do you think we should talk about? I am not your father.
You're my uncle.
Oh yeah, that's right, I am your uncle. I was going to talk about that tall furry creature in his dumpster trash can that makes funky noises.
So are you talking about Star Wars? The
that
Last
one.
Jedi?
Yeah, the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. So so the new trailer came out. We are excited about it. So we're gonna talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. What our impression of the first trailer? What we're hoping, what we're not hoping. Plus shows that got completely done. So from beginning to end, there weren't canceled mid-season. There's shows that we like and dislike, and the reasons why. But first, jumping in
to The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm. The new trailer came out. What was your opinion?
Well, minus the fact that I was trying to watch it when I was working. I was trying to take phone calls because I work in a call center. And as I was watching it, I was choking because I was like, this is so good, I'm emotional.
It didn't hype me enough.
Well, it's because it's the first trailer, but still, I don't think I'm excited to see Rey's story, but I'm more excited to see how her and Luke work together, and I'm very excited. I hope this is where they start introducing the Grey Jedis. Do you know what a Grey Jedi is?
I do know what a Grey Jedi is.
A Grey Jedi, for those who don't know, is one that practices in between the light and the dark side. And, if you think about it, and Nerdist News had it today, they brought up a good point. If they would have practiced in the Grey Jedi form a lot more, instead of the two extremes of, oh, hey, we're going to fucking kill everyone, and, oh, hey, you can't have a mom, Anakin probably would have ended up being a bad guy.
And there already has been a Grey Jedi shown in the Star Wars universe. People do not know that. It's in Rebels. It's a cartoon.
Oh, yeah, in the cartoon.
And Ahsoka Kano, I think her name is. She was shown in the Clone Wars cartoon. She was the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker that left the Jedi and became a great Jedi. And so, yeah, that's my favorite type of Jedi. They practice both. They use both sides of the Force. And like a lot of people say, like, Anakin would have been fine if that would have happened. The only thing about this trailer is it didn't get me hyped up. Not like the other two, not like the New Hope or the, what was it, the other one? The Star Wars.
Well, not New Hope. New Hope's the fourth one.
Not New Hope.
You're talking about
The Force Awakens and Rogue One. Those two really hyped me up from the get-go.
Well, Force Awakens, if you remember, though, that first trailer isn't that exciting. All it is just shows Finn waking up in the desert.
But that's
a stormtrooper.
But that hyped me up.
See, this hyped me more because I'm really excited to see, especially when Luke was like, I'm the Jedi are done. I was excited to hear about, why is that? Why does he hate them? Like, what he went from being all good to now he's kind of like,
we don't know. Yes, this is my personal opinion. Yeah. It's just, I think the other one hyped me up maybe because it was the first one in the trilogy, so it's like, oh, you're hyped up. This one, I'm pretty sure once it starts coming out, we'll get more and more excited. I was watching the panel, and something I thought curious, jumping in and leaving the trailer behind and going over the panel. Luke Skywalker mentioned in the panel that he had fundamental disagreement with Jar Jar, with the writing of Luke Skywalker in the movie. He did not like the story how he was being told.
Why?
He didn't say why. He just said he fundamentally disagreed with it. Like he says it could be because he's Luke Skywalker, so he thinks Luke Skywalker never did it. Would do something like that. But he said once you see it, it will make sense. So
he disagreed at first, but after
he still disagrees.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he tried to get to J.R. the director, to explain a little bit of the back history. And he didn't give him crap. So that it was a little bothersome for him, but he's like, I'm pretty sure the books and the comics will fill it out, so it's blank, so they can't give him information because they don't know because it hasn't been written. But that's the point. There's nothing written from the last of the originals to this one. There's nothing new. And he disagrees with how Luke Skywalker is going. Mm-hmm. But he's an actor, and he says he was saying maybe I'm too personal for it, and maybe I'm being biased.
So he was just giving them constructive criticism.
Yeah, he's not saying it's going to be a bad movie. He just said that for him, Luke Skywalker, he wouldn't do that. But maybe you think Luke Skywalker could. Mm-hmm. So it's just because his personal opinion is as a character, because maybe he wants it to be like that pure Jedi, and that's how he wanted it to happen. And you could say he could be turning more into a gray side. And that's something that you would like to see, but it's not something that Mark Hamill would like to see.
I think it would be cool because obviously,
or it could have been like, it could have been. Sorry, before it could have been. It seems like we want the dark, the gray, and he doesn't want to be the gray, and he becomes gray. You know what I mean? It could be 100 reasons why.
I think a lot of it is because I do like some of the ideas that the Jedi have, but I also feel like I go along with the ideas of the Sith also, because if you think about it,
Sith is emotion.
We're all in the middle. No, I mean, if you look at it this way, a priest would be a Jedi, and the Nazis would be the Siths. I mean,
I wouldn't go that
two
far.
Fucking extremes.
No, but I mean, if you read the Sith prayer or the Sith motto, you will agree with it. It's a prayer that says, it says, peace is a lie, there's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. That's the Sith. So it's more about, you get that energy through your passion, and that passion gets you, your passion, it could be the love to a woman, or the love to your child. But the Sith code goes, there's no emotion, there is peace. There's no ignorance, there's knowledge. There's no passion, there's serenity. There's no chaos, there's harmony. there's no death, there's the Force. So both are, it's just, are you a more passionate person or you're a more calm person? More logic?
Definitely passionate.
So you'll be more inclined to be with the Sith.
I think the idea of
But
being
power
in
corrupts.
between.
Absolute power corrupts.
That's why I think we would be more so in between, because being on the other two spectrums, I mean, it makes sense when Anakin gets pissed off because of his mom being tortured to death by the people in the village. I can understand him fighting the warriors, but he took it to the next extreme and killed the women and children. That's a little much. But coming out and like having the warriors come fight you, and then you're like, all right, I just need to get some aggression out because you killed my mom.
But that's Sith.
Yeah.
So that's I understand, and I hope. I'm not so sure. I think they're gonna try. I don't think it's Luke's. It's not Luke's story anymore.
No, it's Rey's.
So that's why I think it's not gonna be so much. I think Luke is gonna have his little story, but he's gonna be like not the center, and Rey's gonna be the center. I think Rey is gonna be. Luke is gonna be more like the drunken guy who's broken.
Yeah. But
Rey's gonna fix him, and he's gonna help her gain her power.
I think we have 3 stories, because I think one story is going to be Poe and BB-8. The other story is going to be Finn, his recovery, and joining. I'm assuming he's going to join the Rebel. He said, he's fighting with himself, what he wants to do. Go on the run or join the Resistance. He's going to join the Resistance, and then obviously we have Rey. But I think also you have, which is always on the other side, you have the dark side. So you have, all the Kylo Ren's story. And
I'm more interested to see who the bad guy is. The big hologram dude.
Lord Snoke. Gollum, the guy who plays Gollum's planet.
I'm more interested in him than anything else. But before we jump to our next topic of old TV shows, what do you think? Who do you think is this Star Wars story about? Like, I don't think it's a one person, but if you had to force yourself to one person's story, do you think it's Anakin's story? Do you think it's Luke's story? Do you think it's the Force story?
I think it's just a cumulative of everything. I don't think it's. I don't think it's easy. I think it. I mean, obviously, I think it goes in like. I mean, you have.
I think it's Anakin's story.
Well, you have Anakin's story, but you also have Luke's story. Then you also have.
But the reason why I say it's Anakin's story is like the first 3 is about Anakin. The original 3, even though it looks like Luke, it's Anakin's progression back to humanity, to being a father, and the last one is the consequences of his actions story. That's why I think it's Luke's. It's an Anakin story, but it's not one. I know that because it's Luke. It's Leia's. It's anybody's story.
I honestly think it's just
too much to put in one person.
Yeah, it's just like Thrones. I mean, you could say this story. A lot of people say it's Sansa's story, or it's Arya's, or it's John's, or Dany's. You can't just. For me, there's just so much story in these shows and movies.
Thrones, I think. And I'm gonna just make it here. I think it's not a story of an individual. It's a story of decisions, starting from the first to the end. But that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean either are good. I mean, I can definitely see your version of Anakin because
I'm just forcing myself to pick.
Vader is in all of it. I mean, Anakin has some form, some way. I mean, Kylo Ren directly influences himself from Anakin's decisions.
But if you think about it, like you said, Anakin is the gray version. Like how he became from light to dark, back to light, and now he's gonna interchange between light and dark as a Sith spirit or a Jedi spirit.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see. My biggest worry is I don't want them doing the Obi-Wan thing where, spoiler alert, where Luke comes in and joins them, and then he gets killed just like Obi-Wan. I don't want it to be the same thing.
I don't think it's gonna be the same thing. I think it's gonna be Luke is gonna train her, and then he's gonna be more like say he's done, but he's not done.
I think he would be more so kind of like Bayorn. He's in the second movie, and then in the end, like, he comes in and tries to save, because there's going to be, like, one last battle, just like there is.
Yeah.
I can foresee that. I am interested because they showed, like, the rebel bases blowing up with Poe and BB-8 in there, and I'm really interested. I like Poe. I like his character because Oscar Isaac tends to play a bad guy sometimes, and him playing a good guy, I still, just the way Oscar Isaac is, I just don't know if I trust that guy still.
Yeah.
I really don't know if he's going to be good, but...
Alright, so let's jump into the TV series.
You want to talk good or bad first?
I think they both go hand by hand.
I think, so, one show that I was thinking about talking that I really liked when it was on was True Blood. It's ridiculous.
I loved it, but at the end it was one of those shows that ended up bad.
The ending sucked. The ending was just...
Suki.
Suki. Come in here. I feel them killing Bill... Spoiler alert. I think them killing Bill at the end was just...
It was like, for example...
too easy.
For me, it's like a Lost.
Yeah.
Lost is, I mean... Instead of making it too easy, they made it too complicated.
Yeah.
That, for me, is, I think Lost... is the greed of the... For me, Lost could have been a great show if they did it like in 4 or 5 seasons. Or 4 seasons.
Like Breaking Bad.
Yes, like not pushing it because then it just became too convoluted. I love that show. But I finished that show just because I was too invested on it.
Mm-hmm. I never watched it.
It started as a geek's dream. And then it just vanished. Like Heroes is one of them.
Yeah.
Started strong. Disappeared.
Heroes had a lot of rough start though because they had the writer's strike in between, so it kind of fell on its face due to that, which sucks. But yeah, True Blood I think was good. My main
Any HBO show is good. It's just
their endings are other than hopefully Thrones doesn't. Boardwalk Empire sucked at the end. Up to season 3 it was good. Season 4 and 5 were not good. They were just. I think you see someone like Mr. Harrow being such a badass fighter, half-face. Uh-huh. He was such a good fighter, and then in the last part of season 4, it's easy for him to get killed.
Yeah, I just think it's hard to make a good ending. It really is. It's a hard thing to make an ending. Like that's what Breaking Bad was.
Breaking Bad is just
it was like good, but it's I think most shows do not end good because most shows they're too greedy. They just try to push in one more season.
Yep, Sons of Anarchy didn't end good,
but because when they're supposed to be ending it, there's when the people are still interested, they do one more season and one more season, and that's my fear with shows like Walking Dead. That if you just put one more season,
see for me,
and one more season,
I'm not devoted for an ending for that show, though. I'm devoted
but you love that show, but that show's going to have an ending. And it's going to have an ending. It's going to be 2 types of ending. Or it's going to be one, that there's going to be no season next, there's no season, so it's going to be an open ending. It got canceled. Or it's going to be, they're dropping. They're going to put less and less money. And then they're just going to do one of those, it's the last season. Watch it now, and then do some. But if they have a plan, if they have like a book where there's a beginning and an end, those are the shows that work well because you have an end. You know what you're heading to. You're not.
That's probably why Game of Thrones is good.
Yeah, because they have an end. It's a book still. Like Breaking Bad, they had an end that is like not in the. True that it didn't end in the prime, but they had an ending, a good ending.
I do like how the directors and creators of Game of Thrones, the show, are like, you know what, we could do, 2 more seasons of 10 episodes, but we're telling a story here, and it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to have 7 episodes and 6, versus having wasted content, which I respect a lot.
It could be like Firefly, it was a good show, it could have been amazing, but it got canceled. That could happen to Game of Thrones, like where you like craving the end, and then where it can be lost that one more season, and then you're like, you lost track. Because there's so many things you can talk about. You cannot have, there's another group, there's another group, there has to be an ending. Like, maybe when Rick dies, and you can zoom out and you can see an old Carl telling the story, and and you can see the old Carl, and you can see the Alexandria, I don't know, or Belgrade, or destroyed, and he's lost his mind because he's the last one, and he's talking to little pieces of fruit.
Yeah, I really.
Oh, that would be so cool. And I'm thinking, imagine Carl, like old Carl with a head, like, and there's the zombie heads of the family members.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And he's telling the story, and they're like, "Oh yeah, remember Dad when you see record like just his head going like and be like, and just going crazy, and just leave it like that."
Yeah,
that could be a really good ending.
Sons of Anarchy, it went on. Did you watch that show at all?
I stopped watching it when they went to Ireland. I was like, I'm done.
After if you get past season 3 is weird because of that. Then season 4 is good. 5 is the best season. 6 is when it should have ended. Like there's a part in it like Gemma kills Tara at the season finale. They could have put that in the middle of the season and then ended it at the end, like with Jax killing Gemma. But instead, they waited till the end of season 7 for him to kill Gemma. Because he's like, oh, I have to do this, and he kills her, and he kills whatever that.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean with the shows that I love. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to end good. I want it to have a good sensation. Like,
just finished.
That's a good. I want to be the last episode and be like, that was a good fucking show.
Yeah, I had that disappointment this past week. There was a show I watched. It was on BBC. It's called Ripper Street. It's on Amazon also.
What's it about?
Basically, it takes place as these cops that work in Whitechapel, which Whitechapel is a city in England that are in London, and that's where Jack the Ripper murders happened. Well, this takes place after that, but these cops were ones that did that. They helped try to solve that. Well, it goes through and tells their life afterwards, and it was pretty interesting. Like their, second season, there's a train that derails in the town, and it unfoils that it's this rich lady who caused it, so then she could get money for it, and she's one of the wives. And there's just a lot of different stories that go on. It was a really good show, and then they had the season finale or the series finale last week. And I kid you not, it had more endings than Return of the King, which isn't possible. I mean, if you look it up in the dictionary, too many endings is Return of the King. Yeah, they,
we defeated him! Oh, we threw the ring!
My friends, you bow to no one! But
that was a pretty cool scene, though.
That was a great scene. And when I saw that in the theater, like, that was such a good part. But yeah, they...
And then missed the actual ending. And they fucked up the actual ending.
For what?
For Return of the King.
Oh, yeah.
Half of the book.
Hey.
Fuck it.
Yeah. The best part of the book, we're just gonna leave it out.
Oh, fuck it.
What's the scoring of the Shire? We're not gonna bring
when I was watching it, it was like, they think I was watching, like, I can't wait to see Merry and Pippin next to the other hobbits.
I just love that. Well, because they're taller, because of the Entwater, and if you watch the extended versions of the two towers, they grow.
And they explain it.
Yeah,
but then they're like, nah, let's take this away.
They don't fucking do it. And if you watch the extended parts, Peter Jackson talks about not, making a decision and not do the scoring of the Shire. I'm like, dude, that's the best part. Like,
but how many? But you're criticizing how many endings. Imagine that would be like 2 more. You'll be adding 2 more. You'll be adding, oh, we're going to leave. And oh, by the way, it's done. Oh, by the way, we're leaving.
They could have cut out one of the endings for that.
Yeah. They could have.
Such.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
So let's go to.
Shows that end. Well.
I was like. Breaking Bad ended pretty well. And. I'm going to say something. I really enjoy watching Chuck. Do you watch Chuck? Mm-hmm. It's about, it's one of those...
I know what it is.
It's a stupid show that basically is of this guy who works... He's a smart guy who works in the Geek SWAT. And his hot neighbor, moves in next to him, and she's a spy, and then he becomes a spy. And he gets this spy superpowers, basically. And it was always fun. I always enjoyed it. And... It ended with them with a happy ending.
Did you listen to the Anna Faris podcast when Zachary Levi was on there?
No.
Yeah, he was the guy who plays Chuck. He was just on their podcast.
Oh, really? You talking about Chuck?
Yeah, he talked about Chuck and being. He was a really cool dude. He said that like he was really cool with like the Universal people or not Warner Brothers people that drove the fans through there. You know, because you could do tours, and he would always come through and he would say hi to the people driving. He was a really nice guy. He's like, you know what? He's like, I don't understand people. You know, just because we're in this position doesn't give us the right to be dicks. Just because we're famous, I mean. There's no reason to be assholes to people.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a really nice guy from what I heard on the podcast. But yeah.
That was a show that I thought it ended. You know, I was like, okay, I'm good.
I would say a show that was consistently good up until the last season, so I would say it was a good show, would be Dexter. I like Dexter.
Dexter was another one that was good.
Season.
It was very wavy.
The best season by far is when John Lithgow was in it. That fucking season is amazing.
My favorite's still the first one. I love
the first season.
The first season of Dexter was always my fun. It was a fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true, but it's a True Detective First season was amazing.
True Detective's first season was great.
But see, like all the ones that were good had a story.
Mm-hmm.
They had a beginning and an end, a set beginning and a set end. The ones that fluctuate is when they took it one season too long.
My argument with Dexter...
the baby thing didn't make sense.
The baby thing, and then the whole, oh, I'm going to end it by driving into a fucking hurricane, and then I'm a lumberjack. Motherfucker, you're in a fucking bass boat. You're going to drive into a hurricane? Have you never seen The Perfect Storm? They were in a fishing boat and died. You're fucked. And then, like, his sister dying, that was just so freaking retarded.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love that show.
Yeah, I feel the HBOs and the Stars normally do a better job because they tend to have a beginning and the end.
Spartacus, that's another show that was good. And ended good. Because
I will stop watching after the main character had cancer.
Oh, Andy Whitfield.
And I stopped watching it. I was it's not Spartacus.
He did a really good job. The other guy did a good job.
I stopped watching. I was like, I'm a fan of this guy. It's not going to be the same. I'm not watching it.
I kept watching it because my favorite character is Gannicus. So, but I like that show because the
porn scenes.
Yeah, dude on dude, of course. But they had they stuck to it pretty close to historical fact from what we know, because the Romans are really good at keeping historical records. And Crixus did split off. He did die from that Roman guy because he got cornered. Gannicus did die. No one knows what happened to Spartacus, but the way they ended it was
he got crucified, didn't he?
No, Gannicus did, but Spartacus didn't.
Oh.
But Spartacus, I feel like that show did justice, and they could have kept going with the show because there was so many other campaigns that happened before it got to the main general fighting and conquering them. You know, there was just the fourth season. There was a guy that they show where he fights. In the first season, he is the Roman guy that captures him. Mm-hmm. He's the guy from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
the elf that gets cut in the back of the neck. He is the main bad guy in I guess it would be the second season, if you will. But yeah, and they could have kept doing that. There was a lot of centurions that kept fighting Spartacus. But
yeah, it was a good show, and yeah, but I think those shows are like the ones that tend to stand to a story. Like Spartacus has a story. Mm-hmm. You know there's an end. You know he's gonna die.
Black Sails.
Black Sails is another one.
Black Sails.
I'm still watching it.
Where are you at? I know Kyle.
Almost finishing season 2. Almost on season 2.
Oh man, dude! I tell you,
season 2 is the best by far so far.
Oh, season 4 is. I couldn't have asked for a better finale of a show. And that's why I love that show, is because they could have kept it going, but they didn't because they got to the point of Treasure Island. And I really like that show because there's typically when you have a show, just like Spartacus, all your key players, at the end, this isn't going to end well for them.
Yeah.
Well, they give you a different kind of twist in this show. Nothing that you would ever expect, and it's so.
Don't tell
I'm
me.
not spoiling.
I want to still want to listen to it.
Well, fuck you. I'm going to spoil it here. You heard it first.
The old god herpes.
Like I've said it before, Jack died at the end of Titanic.
So, what shows do you guys like? Do you like, that ended and you would think they were awesome or bad? Let us know by emailing us at TwoOrdinaryNerds. You can drop a comment on YouTube. Yes, comment below. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Well, we have one more question before we do that.
Yeah, what's the question?
Who would win in a fight, pancake or a waffle?
Is it I think the waffle will win.
But why?
It's more structurally sound.
My theory is a waffle could be used if it was, a waffle and he could fight, or she, whichever it would be like a Saturn missile. It can hold a bunch of blueberries or something in there, and it's fighting this big old fat pancake.
But the pancake will collapse. A waffle can maintain itself straight.
It could. And then the waffle would shoot out all those blueberries like a Saturn missile, and then he's like, fuck you, pancake, you're done. Yeah, that's right, you heard it first. Fuck you, pancake. Waffles are where it's at.
Always.
Especially blue waffles.
So just let us comment below, subscribe, like, share. Thanks again for... fuck it. We will continue next week.
Well, no, this one is definitely going to go to those pesky bugs that... Oak Mites. This is brought to you by oakmites.com. If you really have been desiring itchy skin, go to... just come to Kansas, roll around the grass, find an oak tree. You'll find it...
Let us know. Yes, just let us know. And don't forget, go to oakmics.com/2ordinarynerds/code/back again 2ordinarynerds/oakmites are awesome/.com. Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.